That's it. That's and if it's illegal, just make sure you don't get caught.
Exactly. Praise the Lord. Man, we glad you're here. Listen, man, I wanted to have you back. It's been a long time since you've been on the show.
Years.
Who knows what location we were at when you were here last. But
so this is the same show?
Same show, man.
Wow.
5 years strong, yeah.
Wow, congratulations on that, man. That's big.
Thanks. Yeah, God has really been good to us, man. Who would have thought that internet radio could be, so big that so many people would actually tune in. But, it's a sign of the times, a lot of people, internet is the way. So, but man, you are making so much noise. Everywhere I go, I was in Florida, as a matter of fact, preaching, and I went out with a buddy of mine there. He's a part of Church of God in Christ, and he said, "Hey, so in Detroit up there, do you know Welton Smith?" And I was cracking up. I said, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, wow," and he's just bragging. He's like, "Man, he's really doing it big," up there. And I said, God is really blessing him. But it's just funny. Wherever I go, people are asking about you, man. And I'm just curious because when I think about it, back in the day before, I even knew if you were thinking about pastoring, did you ever think that God was going to use you in this way?
To give you the real answer, in all honesty, I always knew, man, that preaching is all I wanted to do. I mean, people who knew me, even as a child, church has always been in my heart, man. I grew up, my parents reared me and raised me in church, and then I never in my wildest imaginations would believe, more so the timing of God rather than the favor of God. Yeah. See, because it's like, God never calls us to mediocrity. Wow. But many times it's like you're surprised when God does what you already know He's anointed you to do. Yeah. What's amazing to me, man, is not just the people that are joining our church, but man, a lot of people don't know there are people that are joining our ministry that have personal connections with me. And what's amazing to me is, like, out of all the people they could follow, the fact that your friendship did not compromise fellowship is a whole nother thing, man. So I'm just honored, I'm nervous, I'm grateful, I'm excited, I'm scared, I'm all of that at the same time. It's surreal.
Man, you really said a mouthful there, because I don't think people realize how pivotal that really is. When you think about when you can have family and when you can have friends that you grew up with and people that know maybe old things that nobody knows, man, and they grew up with you, and they can show up at your church and serve.
And so, man, my elementary school teacher,
wow.
The woman who pulled my mother aside in elementary school after all of the teachers told my mom, he's ADHD, he will not be successful. Wow. There was a woman, I'm not going to say her name because I don't know if her sister's listening in the family, but a woman told my mother, you might as well give up on him. He's not going to make it too far. And I'll never forget that. And a few years later, they invited me back to do the commencement. Wow. Of that school. And that was my middle school, but my elementary school principal, who pulled my mother aside after a parent-teachers conference, after they had told her their truth of this bad little kid. I was never bad, I was mischievous. I just didn't go to class, Okay. But I was always saved, and I was just too saved for class.
I was the same way.
Yeah, there's some things God's got to teach you. And I go into math. I'm just playing, so don't none of y'all take me seriously. Yeah. But I was really diagnosed ADHD, so my mom and dad, they had me, man, I was on aloe vera juice, Ritalin every day. They put me on everything.
Wait a minute.
No, seriously, they put me on everything. And so to see
what was the aloe vera juice supposed to do?
It was supposed to say, my mama said they took me off of it because I just scared everybody in the house. They said you went from being real vibrant to just sitting there like this. So all I'm saying, we didn't know if he was making bombs or nothing, but to see how God is faithful to His word, man, and that's really all it is. It's really, it's not false humility, it's not pretense, man. If God does not stay with you, yes, sir, especially in moments and seasons like this, man, it's no explanation for it but Him. Guys like Pastor Wilson James, man, this guy's been like a giant to me my whole life, and just to hear Pastor James, he's one of those guys that every time you see him, he's gonna stop you and say, "Man, you're doing a good job. stay focused. And man, I'm just honored at what God's doing. Y'all pray for me about it. Y'all be celebrating. I'll be like, Lord, give me the next moves, you know. So pray for me, man, for that.
You know, I'm going to tell you one thing that I really appreciate about you. What I appreciate about you is I can remember, literally, this is interesting. I can remember 13 years ago, I don't know if you remember this, hanging out with you at my job. I was working at Village Green on Franklin in Southfield, and you came and we were playing pool with, who was it? I want to say it was somebody. We were playing pool, and you know, I remember you were talking about preaching then, and you were singing behind Karen doing something. I mean, but this was 13, 14 years ago. Yeah. But the same person you were then, you're the same person now. And what I mean by that is you don't act any different. You know how some people, you know, they get 3-4 members and, you know, somebody's bringing them a cup of water, you know, but you're the same person. You're still approachable, but you always, it's never about you. Let me tell you what's so crazy. The conversation with him, he always asked me, how are you doing? How's the ministry doing? You know, a lot of times when you talk to people, they're giving you their resume. They've got their presentation already rehearsed and down packed, so when they talk to you, they're running down everything that they have going on. When I talk to you, it's never about you. It's always, Ron, what's going on? And you're always willing to say, you know, man, try this, you know, or trying to give me nuggets, you know. And I'm going to say this. A lot of times when God begins to show himself strong in folks' lives, instead of them saying, hey, man, you know, this is what's been working for me, so let me help you. You know, they try to kick you while you're down, thinking that that's the way for them to keep climbing up.
Yeah, see, success is trial and error, and any person that's intimidated to share is a person that's intimidated to succeed.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a formula or a, you know, I don't read them 20 ways to grow your church. You know, I don't read that stuff. I do understand concepts, and there's a book by Sam Chan that saved my life called Breaking Your Church's Culture. And pretty much what it did for me as a leader was made me examine the people that God is sending me rather than chasing the people that I want. Wow. So many times it's like we're unsuccessful because what we want is different from what God's assigned to chase us. Remember, he never told Peter to get in the water after the fish. He told the fish to find the net. And what you got to always remember is that there are fish that God speaks to for your net. Now, that does not mean that all the fish in the sea jump in the same net. There are great churches in this city. And so many preachers that preach a lot better than me. Trust me, it's probably the music ministry and all that stuff growing the church. But remember that God has already spoken to whatever fish you're supposed to catch. And the dictation of your catch is the capacity of your net.
Come on
so
now.
There's no reason to be intimidated. There's no reason to hide secretly. Man, what God has done for me, I understand that I heard Bishop Michael Pitts a long time ago, and I keep it in my heart that whatever you're not willing to give away, you don't deserve to keep. And so whatever it is that God's given me, I've always kind of tried to make sure I help people who are trying to come, but man, and trying to move forward. And you know, you can't get that way stingy. You know.
Man, and real quick, tell everybody how they can fellowship with you, where your church is located, and things of that nature.
Oh, if you're in Detroit, you got to. What time your service start?
1 o'clock.
Oh, well, that's good. You can come to our church at 11:30. We're in a place called Bailey Cathedral. We went to Bailey Cathedral. The whole story of how we ended in Bailey Cathedral is a whole other interview. But we're in Bailey Cathedral every Sunday at 11:30 and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. But this Wednesday we're doing something different that everybody can come to. That we just decided to do something other than church. Man, God's blessing us where hundreds of people come to Bible class every week. So this week we just decided to shut it down. And we going to Northland Skating Rink from 6 to 9, man. I mean, our church, God is blessed. I mean, hundreds of young people come on a regular basis. So we just said, we do church enough. Let's go have a little bit of fun, you know, because we got to learn how to live for Him. But we still have to learn how to live ourselves. So that's kind of what we kind of try to do to provide that kind of atmosphere and environment.
Man, I love it. Also, just so we don't forget, can you let everybody know if they want to book you to come preach, to come?
You don't want to book me. Don't do that. You don't want to book me because it ain't. Don't book me to come. I'm telling you, I'm only anointed for the fish in the net.
All right.
And I, you know, I really understand that. I don't really push people booking me like that. I'm really in this. I'm focused on pastoring. I mean that.
Listen, if they just need
follow
you.
New Life Anywhere at New Life Anywhere.
There you go.
And it's that simple because it's New Life Anywhere. So social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Follow New Life Anywhere. You can be connected to what we do at the church and all that good. You can follow me at Pastor Welton, I guess.
It was Omar Proctor and
My
Christina.
man. Yes, that's my brother.
And they're doing amazing now.
Yes, they're doing amazing, man. Everybody, man, is doing a great. Yeah. I mean, what you're doing with your show, man. I mean, you have been more than anything. The reason I'm here today is because I wanted to say on air that I am proud of your consistency.
Wow.
That through the years, anything that you're not willing to be stable in, you won't be fruitful in. And you have been very constant with the Ron Todd show. You've been faithful with it. You've been determined to bring our city and whoever's listening around the world the best of who we have to offer. You give people a chance, man. I mean, and so I honor you for that. And that's really the only reason I really came. I didn't come to talk about me. I only came to tell you. But I think you're doing a phenomenal job, man. What you're doing with this show and anything we can ever do to assist and serve, that's it. I'm there. I didn't put my word out publicly, it's that, man.
I really appreciate it. Listen, we got a little more with Pastor Welton before he gets out of here. Miss V is here. We want to hear from Miss V real quick, and she's going to tell you how you can get the key to your new car.